and a city on one of Philly's darker days that I can remember in terms of criminal justice in the last several years. We will be very concise today, and so we will be speaking in this order. First, Sean Perez, one of the two prosecutors, along with Anthony Voci, who successfully prepared and pursued this case and obtained this verdict. Number two, we will hear from Deputy Commissioner Stanford, speaking on behalf of the police department. And number three, I'll have a few comments. It is my pleasure to call up ADA Sean Perez.
Good afternoon. We're here to talk about the conviction of Maurice Hill. He was convicted of the attempted murder of multiple police officers, as well as the aggravated assault of even more police officers. This was a shooting that took place in 2019, where Mr. Hill barricaded himself inside a home, fired hundreds of rounds, striking several police officers, vehicles, and homes, endangering the lives of countless people. His sentencing is scheduled for July 10th, where he will be facing sentence on 27 counts of different charges, which he was convicted of by a jury today.
Good afternoon. Just want to reiterate some of the words you may have heard earlier today from Commissioner Bethel. That we're just grateful for the fact that the work that was done by the jury in this case, the work that was done by the District Attorney's Office, that led ultimately to a guilty conviction today. Just very happy about that for the officers that were involved in this incident almost 6 years ago. At the time, I remember hearing Commissioner Ross state that we were it was short of a miracle, that nothing short of a miracle that we didn't have 6 killed police officers that day or more, because of the amount of officers that were under fire during that incident. And so again, just very grateful for the verdict today and the message that was sent to Philadelphia. I think having a jury step up and make this conviction sent a strong message to Philadelphians that the behavior that was displayed in 2019 on that August day will not be tolerated, and it should not be. And so we're very grateful for that.
I want to speak on 3 points. The first one is how unacceptable this violence against police is, and how pleased I am that there will be an appropriate consequence before a judge on July the 10th at sentencing. Second, upon the impact on the community and the work done by victim services agencies, including in the DA's office, but also external agencies. And third, the heroism that was involved. This was an absolutely stunning, heroic, strategic, careful rescue of hostages. It is not only remarkable that no lives of police officers were lost, it's also remarkable that none of the hostages were killed, including police hostages, which is what was going on here. And it is a tribute to the truly excellent work that was done by the Philadelphia Police that night, to the excellent work that was done by law enforcement partners of many different varieties. There's a part of that story I can't even tell, and I'm not going to tell today. But oh, trust me, what was done that night, and I was in and around it the whole evening, what was done that night was truly amazing. So first, I do believe it should be very clear to anyone that this kind of violence, shutting down an entire area, firing repeatedly at police officers, has a consequence. And of course we see that there will be very, very substantial exposure to years of incarceration flowing from this conviction before a jury. Second, the reality is that for months that community was deeply affected. You may recall that on the night when this occurred, it was essentially the lead story on all the national nightly news. It was the first thing that came up. I still remember seeing that in the middle of the event, because of course it started closer to 4 o'clock in the evening. By 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're watching it playing out live on national news stations, and it was not resolved until close to midnight that evening due to some of the amazing work that was done by all the people I've spoken about previously. But that was one dark day that went into a dark night. It was rough. And it had its impact on that neighborhood, on everyone involved. That impact was addressed. It was addressed, among others, by Northwest Victim Services, an excellent victim services agency, one for which we are now advocating that they and the other external agencies get more funding because they need it, because they have to handle things like this. Work was also done by the Victim Services Unit within the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. Obviously, I'm grateful for the work done by those victim advocates from this office. They deserve a lot of credit too, because this was not a simple situation. But finally, my third point is just the heroism that was involved. When this kicked off, and by kicked off, I mean that there was a raid occurring, and that Maurice Hill, inside of that house, started playing Rambo. He just started blasting, firing shot after shot after shot in ways that absolutely could have killed police officers, did cause extensive injuries. Fortunately not too many that were life-altering, none that ended a life, none that caused permanent paralysis, but oh my goodness, it could have. When that happened, and I was in the middle of it, I was around it, I was watching it, I was involved, what I just saw time and time again was the heroism of people who were within law enforcement, the sophistication of their strategy and their tactics, and ultimately an amazing rescue of hostages, people who were trapped inside of the premises with a guy who was behaving like a maniac, holding a hot gun, who kept firing that gun. It is truly amazing that that hostage rescue was carried out so successfully by law enforcement, and that even after that, Philadelphia police and others found a way not to kill the defendant, not to let the understandable emotions get away from them, but to exercise restraint and bring him to justice so that he could get the consequence that he has received today and will receive in more specific form on July the 10th in relation to this case. So I hope everyone will walk away from this moment understanding how seriously we take the safety of our police officers, how seriously we take the safety of our communities, how seriously all of us together in the city of Philadelphia want to make sure that the harm is repaired any way it can be, and how grateful we are for the heroism. Thank you.
I'll take it. Thank you, sir.